All right, guys, this video is called compartmentalizing. Excuse me. What that means is filtering out people in your life who don't belong, who are a hindrance on your faith, who are a bad influence, who bring you into bad atmospheres, bad environments, who use and abuse you, take advantage of you, cheat you over, whatever it may be. They're not true friends. They're agents of the devil. They have come into your life to keep you from growing spiritually, to keep you from seeking God if you're not saved. And they're there to take up your time, to beat you down spiritually and physically, so much that you're burnt out and you just want to give up. You want to end your life. That's how bad it gets. If you have these toxic vipers in your life, these vampires that suck the life out of you, it's like you feel like you can't even breathe anymore. They are so toxic. They constantly pick at you, make you insecure. They constantly talk about others, make you jealous. They act like you don't fulfill their needs. You're never there when they need them, and so on and so forth. It's always about them. What can you do for them? How can you make them happy? That is a toxic relationship. You should want to do that on your own if it is genuine, just like you do for your husband or your wife. They don't have to ask you to do things. You do them because you genuinely want to. You want to show that husband, that wife of yours, that you cherish and love them and they are special to you. And you're grateful for all the selfless acts they've been doing and the hard work they've been putting into the home, the marriage, work, whatever it may be, taking care of the children. And that's something that you want to do selflessly. But these vampires, they come in your life and they take everything that you have and leave you with nothing. If you have Jesus, you have everything. Even if they take everything physical in your life, if you have Jesus, you have everything. So they can't take that from you. But what they will take from you is your spiritual growth. They will come into your life telling you they're a Christian or that they want to be a Christian. And really, their intent is not even interested in Jesus. Their intent is just knowing that you are Christian, born again, child of God, I should make clear and known, because there's a lot of religions that are creating Christianity that is counterfeit Christianity. So born again Christianity is the authentic biblical Jesus follower, child of God Christianity. So just had to make that clear. So they'll come and they'll say they want to go to church with you. Then you guys never even talk about going to church, never go to church. They'll say they read their Bible, but you won't even see them own a Bible or even be in their Bible or talk about reading their Bible. They'll say they want to pray, but you never pray. And all you notice is just a toxic environment around you. They're constantly negative, which is making you depressed, making you feel miserable. They're constantly putting you in situations where you're stressed out and you don't know what to do with yourself. You don't know how to handle yourself and you go mentally insane. They make you go so crazy that you think you are the problem and not them. That you think you belong in a mental institution and not them. That's how bad it gets. So if you have these kind of people, they can be family members as well. If it's family members, you can't really cut them out of your life and you shouldn't. You should just distance yourself. You should have a healthy balance of how you spend time with them. When you go and visit them, how often you talk on the phone with them. You have to filter out people in your life in order to have a healthy environment, a safe surrounding that keeps you in God's presence, that keeps you in God's peace, because their job is to come with darkness and to remove your light. They can't remove your light because darkness cannot remove the light of Christ in you, but their job is to dim your light. So that way it's not so bright shining out into the world to everybody else. It's not so bright that you can see it yourself. It's so dim that you have to take a magnifying glass just to even see a trace of light. And that's their job. And that's the spiritual growth that you're not getting, that you're having a hindrance of. So you have to understand that there's people in this world that unfortunately they dealt with bad traumatic experiences, traumatic things of rape, abuse, kidnapping, physical abuse, verbal abuse, um, just like seeing someone be killed in front of them, murder, all these things take a toll on your eyes and what you allowed your eyes to witness, and take a toll on your mind and what your mind experienced in that moment. And darkness will come over you. And that darkness, when you're not saved through the blood of Jesus Christ and you don't have a relationship with him, will consume you. And it will consume you so much that you seek darkness throughout your life as a way of comfort, when it shouldn't be comforting at all. The arms of Jesus Christ should be your comfort, not the bottom of a liquor bottle or drugs from a drug dealer. It should be Jesus Christ, your healer, because those things are temporary fixes. They vanish the minute that high is gone, that alcohol is out of your system. So, and Jesus is forever. So go to him as your cure, as your healer of your heart, of your mind, of that traumatic experience that you went through, of that generational curse that unfortunately you were passed down because of your family and worshiping devils and conjuring up devils and worshiping false idols and so on and so forth, taking part in witchcraft, whatever it may be. And God will forgive you if you ask that those ties in your life be uprooted in the name of Jesus Christ. God will forgive you, because it's not your fault that your family chose to go down that path and that you were born into that. And these traumatic experiences that you've dealt with, maybe a family member passed away and that's someone you're really close to, someone who raised you like a son or a daughter, whatever it may be. Ask God to heal your heart. Speak to him. He's your father if you are born again. So say, Father, help me with this. I'm struggling with these thoughts in my mind that are negative, that I'm missing this person, that I didn't get to spend enough time with them. And I'm having all this anger toward it and this frustration and this regret. And help me to find peace in it. Help me to rest in your peace and to have comfort and clarity. And he will. If you are truly asking for that and seeking that, he will do that for you. As long as you are truly seeking him and not worshiping false gods and, worshiping idols and all that, then seeking him righteously, he will do that for you. But you can't serve two masters. So you can't serve a false god and then go to God to heal you. He'll be like, go to your false god, let them heal you. And they won't, because their job is to bring harm over you. So anyways, the point of this message is those people who end up growing up at a young age with these bad experiences have a hardened heart. And that hardened heart has unforgiveness, has hatred toward the world because of what they experienced, whatever that specific experience was, that situation in their life. And now they want to find people that are just like them, that they can be miserable with and angry with and, live in darkness with. So now the enemy is going to have them find people that are of God to influence them into darkness. And if you have these people in your life, they will bring darkness into your life. And that darkness will be like you having a candle with no lid, and it's bright and shining. That you don't know this person, they're not in your life yet. You're living for Jesus, you're living for yourself, you're completely content, you're in God's peace. Then the next day you meet someone, they've had traumatic experience throughout their life, they're a bad influence, they do drugs and want to influence you to take part with them, they're alcoholic and want you to go to parties with them, in the bar with them, whatever it may be. They smoke weed and now they want you to get high with them. I think I mentioned that, I can't remember, but anyways, they do that, and now it's like putting a lid on your candle. They didn't put the lid completely, making the light go out, because they can't. Jesus is greater than darkness. Okay, he is light, there is no darkness in him. God is light, there's no darkness in him. So they can't shut your light out completely, but they can put a lid on to where your light is flickering. You know how that happens when it flickers, like it wants to go out, but it's still trying to stay lit, but it's flickering because it wants to go out because there's not enough air space for it to breathe. And that's what you're doing when you have these people in your life. You don't have air to breathe. You're suffocating yourself. You're basically walking around like this, like, hey guys, I'm good. How are you? Yeah, I'm happy. Don't worry, I'm happy. Yes, I love life. God is good. And you're suffocating yourself and you're lying to yourself. And you're so burnt out that you're on like your last breath to try to get through your day. That's how suffocating these people are. You're supposed to be not like this, but like this. I'm good. God is good. Life is great. That's how you're supposed to be. I'm in God's peace. I am so happy and full of joy right now. Not putting on a facade that you're happy, but inside you're really miserable. You really want to cry out as loud as you can from the mountaintops for help, but you're afraid that you'll appear too needy, or you'll be problematic to someone, or someone won't want to help you, that you'll be disturbing someone. That's not how life is supposed to be. So with this message, you have to avoid those people and pray for them. Yes, Jesus hung out with sinners, but Jesus didn't hang out with the sinners like the Pharisees. Okay? He didn't hang out with the Jews that were saying, you are not God, you cannot forgive sin. He hung out with the sinners that realized that they were sinners and knew Jesus was the way, is the way, the truth, and the life. That he is the only begotten Son, the Messiah, the Son of God, and the Son of Man. So they knew that. So they were sinners asking Jesus to make them saints, to transform their heart and their mind to make them saints. That would be like a murderer meeting you randomly, and they're like pouring out their heart and their feelings toward you, to you. And they're like, I hate murdering, man. I've been murdering for so many years now, and I want to be done with this, but I keep ending up in the wrong crowd and people that have guns and can get guns easily and that, find pleasure in killing others. And they're crying out to you because they want an out. They want someone there to pull their hand out as if they're sinking in quicksand, and they're like, help me, get me out of this. And you say, here, take my hand, just as Jesus did. Okay? So with the tax collector. So you have to understand, that's the kind of friends that Jesus befriended. Like that's the kind of enemies that Jesus befriended, was those who came to him righteously. They came to him knowing he is God, knowing he is the Lord, the one true living Lord. And they wanted to serve and worship him and follow him all the rest of their days. So that's a difference compared to hanging out with the Pharisees who say, I reject you, Jesus. You think you're God. You think you can do this. You can't forgive sins. You can't make this person walk. You can't let the blind see. Who wants to hang out with someone like that? That's constant negativity. That's constant bashing. Jesus would be hanging out with them and Jesus would be like, oh, I'm going to go over and heal this person real quick. I'll be right back. They'd be like, Jesus, come on. You can't heal that person. You're not God. Who wants a friend like that? You don't want toxic people like that. They will ruin you. They are ruined, and they want to ruin you. But who did Jesus hang out with? Those who worshiped him. Those who gave him the position of authority. They didn't give him, he has it. But I'm saying they respected his position of authority. They didn't try to overrule him like the Pharisees did. So what you have to understand is these people in your life should not be ruling you. They should be on your team. They should be supporting you. They should be motivating you, encouraging you. If they're ruling you, that is selfish, not selfless. It's selfish. They want what they want for themselves. They don't want you to dress this way. They don't want you to go to this person's house. They don't want you to go and hang out in this atmosphere. They don't want you to go to church. They don't want you to hang out with your family members. Whatever it may be, they rule you as if you are their slave. And we allow it because we're lonely, we're lost, we're confused, we're deceived by them and what they tell us. We want to help them, but they're wanting to torment us. And there's so many reasons. Because we have the love of Christ and we want to touch them and transform them. But the Bible is very specific about unequally yoked for a reason. It's a hard warning, because that warning is keeping you from having to deal with trials and tribulations that you shouldn't have to deal with, that you are bringing upon yourself because you're unequally yoked. It's warfare that you have to face because you're bringing it upon yourself because you're unequally yoked. It's heartbreak. It's days, nights of crying. It's regret, unforgiveness, whatever it may be, because of these people that you allow to rule you. Okay, when you're a criminal, the correctional officer rules you. He has all authority over you. You want to get out of the jail cell, you have to speak to that correctional officer. You don't rule them. And that's what it's like with these people in your life. If they are ruling you, it's as if they put you in a spiritual prison and you're okay with that. And when you want out, you ask them when you can come out. That's not how life is supposed to be, my friends. That is very toxic. And once you realize that, once you start filtering out those who don't belong, you see the signs. You know who they are. Even speaking right now in this video, you're probably thinking of, oh yeah, this person, Chris, this person, Jessica, this person, Aunt Karen, whatever it may be that you're thinking of in your mind. And it's coming to your mind for a reason, because God is revealing this to you, that this person doesn't belong in your life. You need to separate yourself from them, and you need to pray for them, that God will move in their life. And then if that happens and it's God's will, He will change them, transform them, and then He will bring them back into your life, but in a better situation. They won't be toxic. They'll be Holy Spirit filled, child of God, your brother or sister in Christ. So then God will be working through them and speaking through them, and then you will feel God's presence around them. You will be avoiding sinful environments, sinful people that they hang out with, sinful actions, because they're a child of God. They live for the Word of God. So this will happen when you are not saved. The enemy, the minute you're born, he starts planting people in your life, little agents of his. Because, like I said, their job is to monitor over you. They're monitoring spirits to monitor over you. It could be grandma, it could be grandpa, it could be auntie, uncle, or auntie, however you say it. Uncle, brother, sister in your own home that the enemy is using to bring anger over you, to make you have hatred, to make you feel like you're being abused, whatever it may be. And he does that from the very beginning, because the longer they're in your life, the more numb you are to how they're treating you, to the kind of person that they are. And then you start to think this is what true friends are. This is what a best friend is. This is what a mother is, a father is, an aunt, an uncle, a brother, sister, whatever, girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife. And you start to believe this, and then you start to find other people that are just like them, and you welcome them into your life. And now you're a sheep, and you're inviting all these wolves into your life, and they can't eat you alive because Jesus is the shepherd and he won't allow it. But they can take little snips at your ankles. They can be around you to make you scared and tremble. And that's what happens with these people. Spiritually, that's what's happening in your life that you're not seeing, you're unaware of, but you feel the presence of 100%. You know if you're happy when you wake up in the morning because of this person that's in your life. Or you know if you're annoyed, like, oh, they're texting me again, They're calling me again. I just told them I can't, and now they're calling me again. There's specific things, red flags that you see and know of that you just keep tolerating, you keep dealing with. Well, the more you deal with it, the more problematic it is for you, the longer it will last. When you start taking action, it goes away right away, and you get to live the life that you deserve to live, which is with peace and joy and happiness, all the fruits of the Holy Spirit, especially if you're born again. You're supposed to be living out those fruits. And if you're not, that means there's a hindrance. There's a spiritual hindrance that is shifting how you're reacting to situations or to people or whatever it may be. So you have to understand you have the love of Christ naturally, but then you get someone in your life who is, your friend, your best friend, your coworker, your boss, whoever it may be, who has this hatred toward all and just completely judgmental toward all. And then you're like, well, okay, now I'm going to be judgmental. I'm going to be hateful because the way they're acting is rubbing off on me. Okay? So when you see it and witness it, even though you're not that person, you may become that person just to fit in with that person, your friend, your coworker, whatever that is around you. So that way they feel like they're not alone and they're buddy with you and you're on their team. So you change who you are to be more like them. And more like them is not like God. It's like the enemy, Satan. And that's what the devil wants. We're called to be like Christ, not like other people, not like people who are like the enemy, to be like Christ, Jesus in the Bible. So if we are like that naturally because we're God's children and we sacrifice that to be in the presence of darkness, to be in the presence of someone who is toxic, and that's not a sacrifice that is worth it. Now, if you want to speak to, if you want to hang out with sinners, as people claim Jesus did, you first have to realize Jesus is sinless. There's no sin in him. We're born into sin. So we already have the virus in us. And you want to go hang out with people that reject Christ, that are welcoming you into their world of worldliness, of sin, because this world promotes sin, and you want to go and try to bring them to Christ, but when you're around them, you're not preaching the gospel. When you're around them, you're not having them in the Word of God. You're not praying with them. You're not fasting with them. You're not worshiping the Lord with worship music. So who has the upper hand here in this relationship? They do. They're preventing you from being who you are when you're not around them. When you're not around that person, you're praising the Lord with worship music. You're at church. You're reading the Bible. You're praying and growing your relationship with God in that way. You're feeding your spirit through things, posts and pages and channels that are sharing God's word and truth through the Holy Spirit. But when you're around them, it's like God is not popular enough to be hanging out with you guys. So you put him away when it's supposed to be the complete opposite. He's supposed to be popular in your mind, in your heart, in your life, to where you share him with the world. Doesn't matter if that person's toxic or not. They need him the most. We all need him. But they have such a darkness inside them that Jesus needs to heal that darkness. He needs to remove that darkness. So that's what you got to understand. The minute you start filtering out people that don't belong in your life, you will start to see that you are more happy. You have more energy. You have more self-control. You are in the presence of God, feeling God's peace. You have patience. You have understanding of clarity. All of this stuff will be there because it's you and God. But with this person, his roommate even, that's worst case scenario is like someone you have to live with and see all the time, not someone that calls you, asks you to hang out. You could easily be like, nah, I'm busy. I don't want to right now, maybe another time. But a roommate, they're there all the time. And you can't pick and choose who your roommate is unless you do an interview and you really feel them out and you're not desperate to find a place and so on and so forth. So you kind of have to deal with it. But if you're in that mindset that Jesus hung out with sinners, so I'm going to hang out with sinners, well, Jesus had authority over those sinners. And again, Jesus is sinless, so sin could not tempt him. Sin tempts us because of our flesh. So you have to understand that's very dangerous. That's like Jesus, I don't want to say the word because then my video will probably get censored. Probably removed. It's so hard to know what we can say these days. That would be like Jesus. Let me think for a second. All right, that would be like Jesus being water, a glass of water. And these sinners that want to live in sin, that aren't seeking Jesus righteously and holy and seeing him as Lord, is the poison. And these sinners are like, hey, Jesus, this, that, you can't do this, you can't do that. That's not hanging out with sinners, but maybe that's how you will take it. The ones he hung out with are the ones that came to him with respect and came to him admitting he's Messiah and Lord, which means they were called from the Father to the Son. And that's how it's supposed to be. That's why Jesus welcomed them, because it's kind of like clarification of like, who sent you? My Father, right? Yeah, okay, you're good with me then. But others who didn't know his voice, didn't know he was God, is God. It's like, who sent you? Oh, I sent myself. Oh, so you don't know my Father? He didn't send you? No. Oh, then I don't know you. I'm sorry, depart from me. And that's what it's like. So it's like you thinking, so when that poison goes into the water, it doesn't affect Jesus because Jesus is greater than the poison. But with us, if we are now the water and we are around people of this world, heathens, sinful people that live in sin, not live in repentance away from sin, freed from sin because of Jesus and the blood he shed on Calvary, on the cross at Calvary, it's like that poison, a little drop put in the water. And you're like, whoa, that feels different than it was before. Before it was just water. Now there's a little bit of poison because I hung out with this new person in my life. And now we're friends. And now you're not feeling right. And you're like starting to feel lightheaded. And it's like, okay, it's not too bad. It's just lightheaded. And then you meet another person out and about, or from school or work or wherever, that the enemy sends an agent of his into your life to befriend you. Because if they're close to you, they have more control over you. So, okay, let's bring this person in my life. Oh, more poison dropped into my water. Oh, wow, I'm getting like headaches now. And I'm starting to feel really lightheaded now and dizzy. And I don't know what's going on. And it's like before these two people came in your life, you had no headaches. You had no lightheadedness, no dizziness, nothing. You were completely content, completely whole, completely healthy, completely focused of clarity. But now it's starting to get clouded. You're starting to feel negative effects, which happen to you spiritually if these people are in your life. And you're not making sense of it, where it's coming from. You can't pinpoint it because you think these people are just people and you're just friends with them and that's no big deal. But you're not realizing these friends come with poison. And that poison is what is trying to kill you. So they're in their life trying to kill you, but they can't kill you because you belong to God if you're born again. So all they can do is torment you. They can torment you day and night, 24/7 until you die and go to heaven. And that's their job. Their job is to keep you from growing spiritually stronger, from having such a clarity that you can speak and teach others, other children of God or non-believers of God's word and truth, to grow in your relationship with God so that way God will use you more because you're gaining knowledge of his word and you can teach others about that or you have a boldness of the gospel and you're going out and preaching the gospel and saving souls through Jesus, that's what the enemy doesn't want, which is why he knows he can't have your soul, but he wants your life, your active lifestyle. He wants your entire life, but he can't have it anymore. So he settles for what's second best, which is to destroy your life as you're living on his earth, which is, he's the lowercase g God of this world, as scripture says. So he wants that part of your life. He wants you distracted in technology, in social media that has nothing to do with God, nothing to do with feeding your spirit, that consumes all your time, so you have no time to feed your spirit, no time to read, no time to pray. It will consume you so much that you won't even realize hours and hours are going by. But when you go to the Bible, you're so quick to read through like it's a race, and it's like, oh, I got to read a chapter, but yet you're here scrolling through Instagram for 5 hours. You see the problem there? He makes you happy and excited and find pleasure and joy in things that are of his world, virtual world, make believe. And when it comes to spiritual growth, he makes you annoyed with it. He makes you disgusted with it. He brings confusion with it. And that way it pulls you away. You are disinterested. You lose interest. And then you're like, oh, I'm just going to hang out in the world until I die. That's his goal. So these people that come in your life that are toxic, that's their goal to do on a daily basis. They come saying, I want to be your boyfriend. I want to be your girlfriend. I want to be your best friend. I want to be your new friend. I'm your favorite coworker. Whoever it is, wherever it is, favorite aunt, favorite uncle, grandma's house, grandpa's house, whatever. And their job is to be so close to you that they're monitoring over you, just like a prison guard to a prisoner, watching your every move. Make sure you don't do anything out of place, out of order. And out of place and out of order, and a prison guard is trying to break out of prison. Out of place, out of order in this physical world is trying to seek God, trying to preach the gospel, trying to grow spiritually. So if they see you doing that, they up their game and they're like, oh, they're reading the Bible. Maybe I should recommend a vacation. We should just go take a vacation. It'll completely distract them. They'll leave the Bible at home, and then, they'll enjoy the vacation so much, and then I can go from that into something else. And that's how they work. And you don't even see it happening. It's happening right in front of your very own eyes, but you're so distracted. That's what the enemy uses to keep you from spiritual growth, is distractions. That's why I am completely strict on who I subscribe to on YouTube and who I follow on Instagram. If you're that type to follow someone just because they follow you, first of all, that's a game. You have to realize a lot of people do that to get followers. They hope for the people that will follow them back, and then they unfollow you, and you don't realize it happened because you're not paying attention. You're not understanding, oh, I just followed that person, but they unfollowed me back. Okay, unless you have an app that tells you. And that's a little crazy if you're at that extent. That's serious insecurity that you need Jesus to help you with and fix your heart with. If you have to get an app to know if people are unfollowing you. It's not about follows. The only one you should worry about following, get an app for, is God. Make sure you're following him and that you don't unfollow him. He'll never unfollow you, but you can unfollow him through your free will. He didn't make us robots to worship him by force like the devil tries to do. No, he gave us free will so we can choose from our heart to worship him, to love him, to fear him, and so on, to follow him and do as he commands. So if you have these people in your life and you continue to let them guilt you and be like, oh, I can't let this person go because they're dealing with hard times in life right now and this and that, that's your decision. But their hard times now become your hard times. Just like husband and wife, they become two in one flesh. If you are a true, genuine friend, your friend's problems are your problems as well, because you care for your friend and you make them your problems. You don't have to. You could say, hey man, your problems are yours, or If it's a girl watching, hey, your problems are yours. I'm not getting involved. You're on your own. That's not a good friend. A good friend is there for you above what they may or may not want to do. I don't want to help you with your problems because I have problems of my own, but I know that I love you and I know that you're a good friend and I want to be there for you the best that I can. I want to take these problems away from you. I want you to have peace again. I want you to smile again and have joy in your life again. So let's share your problems together and we'll break them down and destroy them one at a time. That's a true friend. A fake friend would be like, that's your problem. Don't bring your problems to me. What's wrong with you? That's a user. Because all they care about is themselves. Hey, I have my own box. Your problems affect my box. Well, if that's the case, then you guys shouldn't be friends at all. You should stay in your box, which is what this video is about. It's not about friends that have problems, family members that have problems. It's about those people being problematic to you. Not bringing their problems to you, bringing their characteristics that are toxic to you and bringing problems in your life and then leaving you to deal with it while they go and be happy and toxic somewhere else. They feed off of drama. So they create drama in your life. If you're angry, they love that. If you're stressing out, they love that. If you're feeling like you can't breathe, they love that. If you feel like you want to end your life, they love that. They love anything that is toxic, anything that is negative, because they are children of the devil. Children of God will not be that way. They will be there selflessly to help you in any way. Hey, you're having problems? Let's pray. I'm going to pray for you and your situation, your family, your work, whatever. Let's fast together. Let's do a 24-hour fast. I think that will really help you with your problems. They don't have to. They have their own life to focus on. But because of the love of Christ in them and the genuine character of them, that's what they naturally do. It's like, I can't look at you having problems and just ignore that. I'm sorry, that's not possible for me. That makes me to be a coward, and I'm not a coward. I'm a loving, caring, giving, honest person. So that's what you have to realize is after this video, you're going to realize there's red flags that you have seen all throughout your life of the girl you're currently dating, the guy you're currently dating, the guy you have interest in, the girl you have interest in, the family member that you spend too much time with or go over the house of. And you'll start to notice, am I growing spiritually through this person? Am I growing even as a person through this person? Like even myself, am I gaining confidence? Am I feeling happy all the time? Or is this person constantly bringing me down? Are they constantly making me depressed when I'm around them? But when I'm around other friends, I'm not that way. And when I'm around them, they're just always negative, and I'm not that way. I'm hopeful, and I move in faith. See, their job is to pull you away from God. Doubt is not faith. Doubt is the opposite of faith. So if they're doubting, their energy, their faith and doubt will become your faith, and you will now have faith and doubt and make doubt greater in your life. But see, if they're a child of God, there won't be doubt. There'll be faith. If they truly are serving the Lord and growing strong and have a strong relationship with God, they will most likely be in faith. So if they're in faith, it will motivate you and encourage you to be in faith, even if you're doubting, even if you're like, you know what, I should really doubt this situation. Like I should worry about this. But, my friend has such strong faith in this and they think that there's nothing to worry about. And they're reassuring me of that. So I'm going to go and share from their faith and get the strength of Jesus from them, who is now my strength, and I'm going to have faith. That's the difference you're going to see in your life with the right people in your life. And these people that are toxic, they try to marry you right away. So that way it's more a committed relationship. Girlfriend or boyfriend, not biblical. God is for marriage, But girlfriend and boyfriend, you could easily be like, yeah, I'm done with this relationship. I don't want to be together anymore. And they're out. And they know that. So they try to have babies with you and then get child support from you. They try to marry you, take all your money. They go for the big game, the big win, whatever you want to call it, the big reward, because now you're more committed. In a marriage, you now have to file for divorce. If there's kids, now in order for you to see those kids, you have to go to court for custody, and it's a nightmare from hell. That's their job, is to make you feel like you're living in hell on this earth, because you're a child of God that is supposed to be in God's peace, that is supposed to be in God's presence, that is supposed to be being used by God as a light of Jesus in this world, like a match that is lit and everyone else's match is not lit, and they need your light to light them up so they can continue to spread light all over the world. But see, with these toxic people, it's as if your match has no light, even though you have the light I mentioned before. You're not going to have darkness. But the oppression that comes over you from these toxic people in your life oppresses you so greatly that you feel like you have no light on your match. So you don't feel that courage, that boldness, that strength to go and light other people's matches because you feel you don't have anything to offer. So that's the enemy's lie. You have a light to match, but you first have to overcome the toxic people in your life. You have to filter them out. You have to put God first, not as a happy thought in your head, like most people will say and write on a t-shirt or a hat, God first, in their bio, God first, but you don't see them acting that way in their life, living that out in their life. You have to truly live that out. And once you see that you put God first, and that the people you follow is not just to get a follow back, but it's people that you are strict about what your eyes see and what your brain is learning, then you will notice the growth in your life. If you follow just to follow back, you don't know who you're following. You don't know what life that person has. They could be promoting violence on their page. They could be promoting lustful content. They could be promoting drugs and alcohol. And now that's what your mind is seeing and learning, and that's what your eyes are seeing. And yeah, it may not influence you, but it's not good for you to see. You don't need to see that. You don't want that in your life. You want to see what feeds your spirit, what is righteous, what is holy, and what is biblical, most importantly. Don't just follow a Christian page just because they claim to be of Christ, just because their username says saved by Jesus or whatever. You follow them because they are biblical. They read the Word of God through the Holy Spirit and not their own understanding. That's why you follow them. And if you follow those pages, those channels, you will see yourself start to grow in your relationship with God. But if you're around atheists that reject God and are constantly talking against God, how you expect to grow spiritually? Unless you have authority over that atheist, where you're trying to help that atheist because they're in your life before you became born again, and you don't want to discard of them because God is revealing that he wants to save them through you, that's one thing. God will give you the strength, the self-control, the authority to overcome the devil in that atheist and to be victorious over their soul for Jesus. But if you're doing it off your own and God did not give you the green light, then you're dealing with someone who is hindering your spiritual growth, who's bringing confusion to your mind. They're confused. So if they're speaking their confusion to you, now your clarity is out the window and you're going to be confused. And you're going to be like, what is this atheist talking about? What is my friend talking about? And that's what it's like. So it is very crucial, guys, to filter who is in your life and to make sure that you are growing both as a person and as a child of God. And if you are not, that person needs to go, because they are an agent sent by the devil to be a monitoring spirit over you. And that is not what you want. You let them go and you pray for them, and God will transform their life if that is his will. So other than that, Don't just befriend anybody. Don't just follow anybody. Don't just subscribe to anybody. Make sure you look through their page. Make sure you listen to what they're saying. Make sure you see their content, not just one post, not just, oh, this person knows them, so they must be a good person. You need to know if they are good by you doing the research on their page, on their channel. And once you have the green light, then you go ahead and click subscribe. Then you go ahead and click follow. Don't do it just because they say subscribe to my channel or follow me. Do it because they are beneficial for your life. Okay? I really hope this helps you guys. Even people from church, they go to church, many of them thinking that just attendance on Sunday is good enough to enter into heaven. They're deceived by the devil. So throughout the week, they're living like the world because they're not saved. And their attendance of works is not going to save them. So you're going to hang out with them throughout the week just because you met them at church on Sunday. You're hanging out with the devil. It's not flesh and blood that we war against. It's the principalities of darkness. It's the spirit behind that person or in that person. So you're hanging out with the devil and you're being deceived because they go to church. You have to look at their life. They go to church, but are they living church? Are they just attending or are they living church? If they're living church, they're a good influence for you. But if they're just attending, then it's not a good influence. Pray for them. Ask God to move in their life. I hope this video helps you guys. Hope it gives you more clarity. This is extremely important. I used to just be friends with anybody and didn't care because I was into modeling and acting back in Hollywood, and you have to network. But once I saw a video on compartmentalizing and I started to filter out people in my life, I started to see the light more clearly because the clouds were removed and the sun came out. And I started to see people for who they really were. So I thank God for that. And before you're born again, the minute you become born again, God will filter these people out of your life. You will start to lose friends through fights, arguments, cheating, lying, catching them, whatever it may be, husband, wife, and, well, maybe not husband, wife, but whoever God chooses. I'm not going to be specific here with this, but whoever God chooses, he will remove because he needs you to grow spiritually in a relationship with him. And he knows he needs to get these people out of your life that were sent by the devil, that you were deceived to be friends with and hang out with all the days of your life, to be activity partners or emotional support, whatever it may be, for your relationship with that person, someone to fornicate with, whatever it may be. And he will naturally do that. But after you're born again and he does that, the enemy will try to then bring people back in, other people back in a subtle way, and you will allow it and not realize that your spiritual growth is being hindered and that your self-value, self-value not as like you live for yourself, but that you think of yourself in a healthy manner, that's being like destroyed. Because you're no longer growing for yourself. You're now sacrificing to do for yourself, to do for this person, as if they're a full-time job and you're their as personal assistant. That's not how it's supposed to be. So we thank the Lord for this message. I hope it speaks truth to you. Share it if you feel that it will bless others and bring clarity to others and help others in their life. And all glory goes to God always. God bless you guys. Jesus loves you. Have a blessed day.